Happy Samhain. It's been a while since I've been on, and I'm just going to do a catch up, a little bit of just a little ritual. And I'm going to pull some cards and kind of talk about where I've been and what I've been doing. Well, where I've been is that my husband has passed, and I needed to take some time to get myself together and grieve. So this Samhain is a little bit different for me in that he is among the recently deceased, and I feel like I've connected with him. A part of me feels like we've always, since he's been gone, there's been this connection. I feel him around the house, and some may think I'm kind of whatever, but I really feel his spirit at certain times, just kind of making sure. And he had told me, like, I'm going to make sure you're safe and everything. And I believe he has indeed kept his word. Well, and being that is Samhain, I'm trying not to be too down about it and just, keep going on. And I felt like it was time for me to start doing videos. I feel a little bit better. There have been times when I can hardly not speak about him without crying. I've gotten past that point, but it still is difficult. He was a good guy, and we had our ups and downs like every couple does. But overall, we have great memories, and he really was the love of my life. Sometimes when people are gone, I probably took advantage of that, and I admit that and regret that. But he really was the love of my life. So, in order to not start crying, we're going to keep it pushing. So with that, it is Samhain. I thought I'd put my hat on and just kind of go with the day. I wanted to keep it simple, basically for my own mental health as for a ritual. So I'm just going to be showing you some of the things I do. I have lit a candle, and earlier today I had a ritual at my ancestor altar, and I celebrated and helped him, I feel, to elevate. I did that, and this candle will go on through the night. And it's filled with roses. We both love roses, so it has all different kind of roses. And this is in honor and celebration of him. So sometimes I just need to keep it simple and not do a whole bunch. Well, some of the things that since I've been home, I kind of went on retired. But as a nurse, they may call me back. I'm still what we call PRN, as needed. They can call me if they need me. I think they're leaving me alone because my husband was also on the hospice that I work with, which was wonderful because Aviana Hospice was wonderful to me and my husband. So that is that. I decided to, I got a smoky quartz crystal. I just feel like they're very protective, and with me just lighting candles and having things around, I wanted that protective stone around. This is my season of the Witch Samhain Oracle, which I totally love, and I thought I'd pull a card and see what came up. I make my own sprays, and so I'm just gonna kind of spray around because I'm not gonna do any not right now, any incense or incense blends. And me and my hat may not get along, so that may come off at some point, but I just want to spray my hands and kind of spray. And that has, sometimes I like to put Florida water with a little bit of lavender water. I feel like it's very cleansing, and it cleanses, and I keep it in a spray bottle, and I spritz that sometimes instead of using smoke, or sometimes I use them both. I'm gonna be honest. So I spritzed around and cleansed around. These are my cards. Don't you just love this? I love them, and I hope that eventually I'll have the whole set, which I've said that before. And we're just picking a card tonight and seeing what's happened as part of our little celebration of Samhain. And I don't know if I've said it, but if I have, I'll say it again. Happy Samhain. So we'll pick a couple of cards. This is 1 and 2, and we'll kind of read cards for the collective in a fun kind of way. If this applies to you, fine. If it does not, then take it for what it is and go with it. The 2 cards that I pick, one is called Voices, and it says, with a tug at the gut, feel them romance your very breath. Listen to the gentle flickering within your eyes, for this is where they guide. And that, I love these cards. They kind of have a kind of spooky goodness to them. I'm sorry, you guys, but this hat and me, we are having a time. And then the next card is Graveyard. There's a song that bellows in the peace of knowing no end and acknowledging the crosswords of eternity. And these are the 2 cards together. What I'm getting from that is sometimes I think it's in the whispers, it's in the knowing, it's in the gnawing that our spirit guides tug on us. It's in the signs and the symbols that they tug and give us messages. And sometimes we just have to be alert to the messages that they bring. So that's what I get for the voices. Because sometimes the voices are, you hear them in your mind's eye basically, but sometimes there's signs and symbols and you have to be aware of that. And this one is in the graveyard, and I kind of feel like this is really apropos for me because it's in the graveyard. It is the song that bellows in the peace of knowing no end. That, even though, and I feel this even with my husband, even though we're separated by dimensions, our love, our relationship knows no end. I feel like we're still just as connected. I still wear my wedding ring. I am still married to him. That relationship continues, it grows. And those relationships with our loved ones, with our ancestors, being who we are, we know that those relationships, we can still have a connection with them. Even our grief, as I'm going through the grieving process, is different because of my connection with the spirit world. So it really does know no end. It kind of takes us to that acknowledging that there is a crossworld between dimensions. And sometimes in times like now, when the veil is thinnest, as at its thinnest, we can communicate. We can still feel their presence and interact with them. So, and that's something that, that's an eternal thing. It's not one of those things that, okay, well, he's gone or she's gone or whatever. No, there can still be a connection there. So that's the reading for today. Like I said, if this applies, if something in there you got, then take it. If not, then listen and, take what you can and move on. Okay, well, in this time that I have been separated from and not doing anything with the channel, I am going to start getting back on a more regular schedule. I guess you can call me, I feel like I'm retired. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to work. I have been off work for probably the last 3 or 4 months. I needed that time. First of all, I was taking care of my husband during that time. I needed that time also when he passed to grieve and to heal myself. And now I feel like I'm doing better with that. And I probably could go back to work, but I'm not sure if I want to. It is one of those things. What they say, it is what it is. So that has taken up my time, but I have had time where I've read, I've done a lot of visualizations and just journey work. It has been a productive time for me, and I hope that it's been good for you. I kind of want to work more with the journey work that I'm doing. So I'll be kind of doing some other things like that on the channel. But in the meantime, some of the books, I read more than one book at a time. So I'm not finished with some of these books, but they have been really good. I had gotten this book a couple of months ago, but I just started. It is The Good Witch's Guide. It's a modern day Wikipedia of magical ingredients and spells. So I've just been going through this, and it has had some interesting things and some interesting spells. I have enjoyed it. I like to use this more a kind of like of a Wicca feel, which I have no problem. I definitely would say I have a Wiccan influence in my practice. Though I don't consider myself Wiccan, but who's to say? I mean, if you practice the craft, most of us have some type of Wiccan influence. I feel like this is a good book. Definitely worth the read. I do love the cover, and it is a hardback cover. So this is definitely a good resource book. As always, and as I always tell you guys, I have used a couple of spells out there that turned out pretty well. But I always add my own spin. So, sometimes I have the ingredients, sometimes not. I'm sorry, I kind of dropped something, so and so sometimes I add my own spin. Now, this book we're reading together with some of my coven members. I love this book. It's Sacred Sex. It's by Gabriella Herzstig. It has exercises, really talks. Now, if you're squeamish about talking about sex, this book will make you blush, okay? But it openly discusses things. It makes you think about it. It places sex in the sacredness that it belongs. It's very open toward all groups. And it makes you think. And it really has kind of made me think about some things. It talks about sex magic and you being a sexual a priestess, and that sex is such a sacred thing, and it is. I really recommend this book to kind of open your eyes about sex and how that is. And for me, being an older person and now being a widow, there are some parts that right now it has kind of triggered me on some things because I'm not there right now. But this is a book that I do feel like I want to keep as a resource and maybe think about at a later time, though I'm going to finish the book with my other coven members, because a lot of times people, when you're older, I'm 65, and people feel like we should, our sexuality is not a thing anymore. Well, it still is, and it's still a part of us. And so this is kind of helping me be comfortable with that at this age. So, great book. I would really, what they say, maybe 5 out of 5 stars. And this is a book, I'm nearly finished with this. It's called Modern Magus, and it is by Don Webb. I'm always saying this, but this really, it's very intense. Took me a while to get through it, and I still have like less than a fourth of this book to go. But it's taking your craft to a modern place. It has both the high magic, and you can use this for practical magic also. Really made me kind of think some things through on my practice. Had some very lot of information, and it was definitely worth the read. And I'm going to put this up, so I'm at the point near, as this is, Samhain is the Witch's New Year. So for me, I like to just kind of look at my practice as it has been over the last year. What do I need to redefine? What do I need to tighten up? Where do I want to go for the next year? And that I kind of reflect on those things. And I think I have reflected. And that book, The Modern Magus, kind of helped me kind of define and tighten up my practice a little bit. Some of the things that I really want to do for over the next year is Still want to continue my videos, basically, I'm sorry, because it helps me to kind of interact with the community, and I've said that before. But the other part is that it's educational for me, and I hope that you get something, a tip or something from me as I get from other people. But for my practice, I've decided I want to simplify. You know, I've been practicing for a long time. Sometimes I can just do things with a thought or a prayer or a chant. So I want to simplify some things. I still, love to practice. I still love doing work, practical, folk, hoodoo work. I still love that. But sometimes I like to intermingle that with more mind work, more working on seeing things manifest from just my thoughts and working with thought forms. So that's where I'm going with things. So just wanted to update you guys, come on here, kind of talk a little bit, and kind of invite you in and know that I'm coming back. I needed that time to heal, and I thank you guys for letting me do that. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.